Today, I'm going to New York City and flying in both economy class and first class on American Airlines. Today, I'll be in first class, and on the way back, I'll be in economy class, definitely after some time in one of LaGuardia's lounges. Anyways, subscribe if you're new, and stay tuned for this flight review.
Welcome to this comparison of American Airlines domestic, first, and economy class. We'll be taking a look at both products across several categories and hopefully answer the question of if an upgrade is worth it. Later on, I'll even show how much it costs to upgrade. Anyways, by this time I had arrived at Norfolk International Airport in Virginia and was ready to head to security. After a quick Starbucks run, I found my gate. Taking us to LaGuardia was a 19-year-old Embraer E170 operated by Republic Airways. Before long, it was time to board. The first class cabin on this aircraft is configured in a 1-2 configuration, with solo travelers definitely better off in the isolated single seat. This is where I was, in 3A. The seat definitely looked a bit retro, but was spacious and comfortable with great legroom. I noticed 2 air vents, all for myself, and then looked outside to see the baggage handlers loading up our aircraft. There didn't seem to be any storage space on the side of the seat, but there was a cup holder for the pre-departure beverage offered to me soon after I sat down. I then took a quick glance at the entertainment brochure and menu while we started pushing back. The flight attendant was very attentive during this flight and took people's drink orders for after takeoff. Wi-Fi was offered gate to gate on this flight, even though the aircraft is 19 years old, and it was surprisingly fast. After testing the Wi-Fi, we were ready for takeoff. Shortly after takeoff, the flight attendant came with a selection of snacks. Because this flight was pretty short at about an hour and a half, there was no full meal service. This didn't seem out of place, and a snack and a selection of alcoholic and non-alcoholic drinks seemed perfect given the length of the flight. I was most looking forward to the incoming views of New York City's incredible skyline, and before long, they came into view. Before long, we were almost on the ground at LaGuardia. Remember, I'm taking the return flight of this journey in economy class to compare the experience. Overall, first class was as expected, with a large recliner seat, premium drinks and snacks on request, and the perk of taking 2 checked bags for free. All for the upgraded cost of only $45. Yes, this upgrade was relatively inexpensive. And for the purposes of this video, we're going to examine whether or not this first class experience is worth it at $45 for flights around an hour and a half. At this point, we had reached the gate.
After a few days in New York, I'm ready to go back in economy class. If you're still watching, please consider hitting the subscribe button and the like button as it helps the channel out. Also, if you see it, why not hit the hype button as well?
Welcome again, this time to LaGuardia. As you can tell, I was pretty exhausted in that last clip after spending a couple of days walking countless miles across Manhattan. But at this point, I had my eyes set on a quick stop by the Centurion Lounge in Terminal B. In some ways, this would elevate my experience even more than when I had flown first class, as Norfolk had no lounge at all. I did eventually find a lounge and enjoyed a quick breakfast. Before long, I got the notification that boarding had just begun. but I was in no hurry as, unlike my last flight, I did not have priority boarding. I arrived just as the last groups were called and got in line. I took a quick look at the E-170 taking us back to Norfolk. This example was even older, at 20 years and 3 months. I eventually found my seat in economy 17F. The legroom was definitely not as good coming from someone 6'4". I did notice a universal power outlet, which actually was absent from first class. We were then told that we were going to try to beat the northeasterner storm headed our way, but that bumps would be inevitable. On cue, it didn't take us long to traverse LGA and then begin the takeoff roll. As a consequence of the bumps, no service was offered at all. In my experience, American normally offers a cup of water or orange juice to economy passengers on flights of this length. However, premium drinks are an upcharge and no snacks are provided. That being said, I did get the same fast Wi-Fi thanks to T-Mobile's partnership with American Airlines. There wasn't much to do but look outside the window at the stormy sky. So the question remains, so far, was my first class experience $45 better than my economy one? I would say so. There are not many real differences on flights of this length except for the legroom and a better menu. Neither seat has an IFE system and no real food is offered. While $45 is a pretty affordable way to experience domestic first class, it may honestly be worth it to save the money and spend it on a lounge pass if you don't already have access. Those are usually around the same price and give you free food and an open bar at most airports. Do you agree? Does first class in this scenario seem worth it? Let me know what you think in the comments. Also, please stay tuned as I have an exciting international flight review planned. I've also been releasing daily short-form aviation commentary, so if you haven't already, hit the notification bell to get notified when they release. At this point in my flight, we had landed through a thick storm. If you've made it this far into the video, I really appreciate it and hope you'll stick around for my next videos. That's it for this video. I'll see you in the next.